Ooh, I'm in my new bag, my bad. You ain't geese, too bad, my bad. Yeah. First of the month, I'ma run it back. Ay. Same day, why I'ma run it back. Yeah. Friday, payday, run it back. Ay. Run it back, run it back, run it back. 48 yards, I run it back. Ay. I cop a car, I run it back.
We're hoping the rain would vacate the Green Bay area by kick, but alas, it's still falling pretty steadily in and around Lambeau Field. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
Blue 58! You must be dreaming.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And with a flag on the field. And that one looks to be in the area where someone was held. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. From the shotgun, a give to Jones. 9 big yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play call to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Let's go now. 18 Gator.
54 Mike. Quit talking about it.
Hey, Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
Mike 5-4. Mike 5-4. Watch the run, watch the run. Watch the run. Check it back, check it back.
On 2nd and 11 now. Hill. Out of the backfield, this is Aaron Jones. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Mike 54. Here we go, here we go. Mike 54. Mike 54. Here we go.
Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers going deep for Hopkins. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Packers. DeAndre Hopkins, his 6th touchdown of the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25.
Mike, we're outside. 56. Hey, we got to get this stop here, D.
Darnold on 1st down. He'll find Paris Campbell. That's complete. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say, we're going to build from the inside out. Because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On the counter, here's Jones. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. Run coverage, excellent there from the defensive end position.
How many times do we sit with coaches and they talk about a base defensive end, a guy who can anchor and play with leverage? We just saw a great example of it. And how about the bonus, tackling the runner for a loss?
On 2nd down, it's Jones. 3 yards is the pickup, but it leaves them still needing 11 here on 3rd down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
54's Mike. Check. Watch 54. Defense wins championships, baby. Switch.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
So now the Packers turn things over to the special teams crew. They're on for the field goal try. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And his kick is good. Not by much. It was leaking oil in the end, but he tucks it in the bottom right corner. And that will make it 10-0 here in the first.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
At the 24.
Here we go.
Darnold. Got a man open. That's Devontae Parker complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a 1st down.
56. Bandit. Check.
A 1st down carry here for Johnson. Powers through him. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
Check.
To throw is Darnold. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37, and he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line.
But to me, it's pretty simple, and it's fairly obvious, isn't it? He's got to start making better decisions with the ball.
That's now 2 interceptions in the first quarter. After interception number 1, there was a long talk on the sideline. And now he's made another mistake.
Yeah, he's just been kind of laying these passes out there. He's kind of been floating them a little bit. He's got to be more decisive in his reads and definitely more decisive in throwing the ball. Rifle it in there every now and then.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
They're not ready for this, man.
Out of the shotgun, it's Jones.
Y'all playing the wrong football.
They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down.
Let's get off the field.
They go play fake, and it's Hill. He's got the tight end, Sternberger. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Packer first down.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Out of the pistol to give to Jones. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Back north. I'm coming after you. 25. Check 25. Check 25. Hey, 88. Mike 51.
Now Rodgers. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Davante Adams. His first touchdown on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further.
Without a doubt, the fade route is tough to stop if your wide receiver and quarterback are on the same page and the ball is placed in the proper spot.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes our score 17-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Darnold. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zadarius Smith in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Back to throw, Darnold. And that is incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? He said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. This is Jones. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14.
Look at me. Zipper. Give me that ball.
He may try and run for this. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. This is taken at the 15. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the Lions will take over.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Darnold. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
Let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball right there.
On 1st down, Johnson. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
You don't want none. Pick up the ball. Young lady, get wide.
On 2nd down, it's Johnson. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. The Lions on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd down and 12. The shotgun snap for Darnold. Looking for Campbell downfield. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is 3rd down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Will Harris. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick six. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What, you mean with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Extra point good by Prater. And that'll cut the lead to 17-7. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. He finds an opening past the 40. He's got the lane, and there he goes. Touchdown, Packers. Jones, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Here's Johnson. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. We got double up, double up.
Johnson on the counter. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
A loss of a yard on the play. And it's 3rd down.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Single slot. I got you, 88, I got you.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business.
Under pressure now, Darnold, and he goes down. Kenny Clark drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they hit the home run last drive. 1 play on the ground. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. To throw is Rodgers. And his throw here's incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Shift, watch the shift. Topper. Hey, Charlie.
Right there, 54, right there, 54, Mike.
Not today, you are. Not today.
Mike's 5'4", Mike's 5'4".
Get it.
Out of the gun, Hill. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's J.K. Scott now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Look at the dance and the juke. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zadarius Smith in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, under pressure again, and down he goes again. Zadarius Smith has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Here's Darnold. And this is Parker, complete. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10.
Right here, guys. Fight.
Hey, take 26.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense. Hey, here we go.
Hey, Alpha.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. That's caught inside the 20. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the right hash, it's a 35-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. And that will push this lead up to 20 now. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
From the 29, Darnold. And this is caught. It's Parker. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down.
First down, Lions.
56. Check 56. Ready? Check. Lucky.
On first down, it's Darnold. Looking for Campbell downfield. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. To throw once more on second and 10. Darnold, screenplay, Johnson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. Now, that screen there on second down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zadarius Smith in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Looks like another empty possession here, partner, and I don't think with 3 scores down in the third quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly.
Let's go.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about
And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. 30, 20. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. A big run there by Jones. 68 yards. And a guy that can change the game, shows you a glimpse of it right there, taking the ball down inside the red zone.
It just tells you how tough it is for a defense. You just hold on all game and essentially hold your breath. Will they break a big one on us at any point during the game? It just happened right there.
Well, now they'll try the end around. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. The extra point up and good. And that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
On 2nd and 11 now. Darnold eluding the pressure, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Rashawn Gary in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Check 26, check 26.
Now it's Darnold looking for Campbell downfield. And got his man complete. There he goes left side. Touchdown, Detroit. Paris Campbell, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead. Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
Let's go.
At their own 17-yard line.
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start...
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result?
Sack.
Quarterback gets hit.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Over.
Kill.
Pilot, 64, weak.
Kill, turn up.
Get 300.
51 to Mike. 51.
Throwing is Rodgers. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. On third down, here's Jones. And he's going to be stopped well short of what he needed as the tackle is made at the 18-yard line. Give him 8 yards on the carry, and that's going to bring up fourth down. Here's J.K. Scott now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Agnew now to return. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up second and 2 at the 44-yard line.
Facing a second and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now Darnold. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he's taken down inside the 30. First down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position. Everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner. And with good timing, you get a completion, as we just saw there.
Darnold now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's first and 10. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Mike, 56, right there, 56. Check pass, lady. Check 43.
Throwing on second and 8. Darnold, he's going to go up top, and this is going to be intercepted. Kevin King with a pick, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Parker, the intended target.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. An 80-yard touchdown. For the Packers, they're able to stretch that lead out further. Point after, up and good. And that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
The Lions take over at their own 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the fourth quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production, But how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
Throwing here on third down, Darnold. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick six makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they gave up the pick six, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
On 1st and 10, Darnold. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. They'll run it with Johnson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
On 2nd and 12, Darnold. And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 45. He's at the 30, the 20, 10, and they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. Short throw pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
No problem there on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. The offense on 3rd down tonight, a very anemic. 1 for 9 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. Darnold now to throw. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. Back to throw here. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down.
And the Lions 1st down.
So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Darnold to throw again. He gets it into the arms of Parker. Complete. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Complete to Devontae Parker. It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Throwing again is Darnold. Catch made here by Campbell. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 27 yards there, a 1st down. Darnold going to lead the offense up 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive.
Mike, 56, right there.
To the air again, Darnold. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Snags it for the pick. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used the calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They run on 1st down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7 forthcoming. A gain of 3, 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They run it again with Williams. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and about 4 more for 1st.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Here's J.K. Scott now. He's been terrific so far. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And they won't get a chance to bring this one back. It goes out of bounds back near their own 20.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
To throw again on 2nd down. Darnold. That's to his running back, Kerryon Johnson. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
The Lions, 1st down.
Go, son. Mike 42. I'm here all day. I'm here all day. Hey, Mike's 42. Mike's 42.
A 1st down throw, Darnold. Escaping the pressure right. And it's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
To throw again on second down. Darnold, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on third down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And my goodness, another interception. Kevin King with a pick. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
The Packers take over first and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
It's a loss of a yard. Brings up second and 11 at the 34-yard line.
Come on, set. 8, read. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. He can't hang. He's not going to get me. Ready, ready.
And they'll indeed take a knee.
A loss of a yard. It's now 3rd and 13.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Green Bay, the win here means it'll be a 7-1 first half of the season. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for Detroit, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
How many of y'all came to win?
Oh, they asking my name, huh?
You ready?
S-T-R-O, I ain't come to play with you.
Yeah.
Life challenging, but I wouldn't trade with you. It's early, I'm up.
Yeah.
I can't spend the day with you. I'm minding my business. I ain't getting paid with you. My color bright. I ain't finna fade with you. Man, I gotta come clean like I made with you. I've been on my everybody drop when I drop. Look at shorty, she support ride. Lifting up, never not on my grind. New York City time, another brother better, you will never find. I've been in my bag like groceries. Competition shouldn't take shots, take no reporting live from the winning side. Ready to try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride, never tired. You will never know, you ain't never tried. Work it out, hit the gym, hit the field. Hey yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. It clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah, case on the news.
What I do? Lace up my shoes, chase W's. Great color coops. Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP Repeatedly most valuable, they sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I didn't grab the few, can't match this attitude. I wear my heart on my sleeve, please. I move like the wind, can't catch this breeze, freeze. Stop you in your tracks, there's not no preseason. We seeking W's like Tupac used to throw up. Forget it, might as well forfeit, your team shouldn't even show up. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me. Naturally, I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me. We ain't go together like camouflage and polka dots. Focus on your position, just know your spot. Sure, don't stop, it's a long season. They planning on winning for the wrong reasons. Trying to get my number retired, can't let these frauds beat us. I figured out the recipe. Never let opponents get the best of me. I'm focused on my legacy.
Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard on the job, you can see that. On my hit is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah, beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
Ball mains, all I ever do is ball main. I am not a rapper, they all lame. I am not dope, I'm hard. Wait, I can power up and level up at any moment. Spitting like a semi, only give me semicolon. Couple zeros like I'm sending yell nets. Every flow is unmatched, and I better get set in. Finish them. Mess around with me and I diminish them all. Even if I ever did the minimum, all. In the result, I'm better killing them all. Rogue one, but I got a team with me. Batman when I got a team with me. I get mean, I get green. Show the whole game what's never been seen. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank.
Designer sneakers hurt my feet now. Every beat is getting beat down. Couldn't eat, well watch I eat now. Like how you getting paid to freestyle? Different cities every week now. Every woman is a now. What state prop you looking bleak now? I was home to sleep designing sheets now. 30 different missions. When I speak they listen. Couldn't find it so she fishing. Who the crew? It wasn't you. I know it's true cause you look like the opposition. Run it up. Greatest ever sums it up. I ain't have a lot when I was coming up. Kinda made my stomach turn when I brung it up. Wait.
Cook it up, gourmet.